As educators, we want to give our students as much cultural capital as we can. Different departments in your school will have different ways of doing this. As art educators, we are so lucky that we have a wealth of wonderful national and regional galleries which we can take our students to, which are often free. I'm going to share with you today 3.5 ways to engage your students with artworks in galleries so that when you take them, they can get the most out of it as possible. My first and possibly favourite way is to ask students to create an art Venn diagram. I give them a blank Venn diagram like this, and it's a fantastic way to get them to compare and contrast two different artworks that they see in the gallery. Whilst in the gallery, they take two photographs of two artworks, which they will eventually stick here and here. You could give them free rein of their choice, or guide them towards artwork on a given theme. They then write about similarities and differences. It's so much easier to write about an artwork when you are comparing it to another artwork. Another way to engage students with artworks in galleries is to play a game that I call What's in a Title? A title has a huge impact on the meaning and understanding of an artwork. To play this game, I often like to try and do a recce of the gallery first and find an artwork where the title does change the meaning. You can then gather your students by this artwork and stand in front of the title so they can't see it, and then discuss the artwork with them, ask them what they think the artwork means. And then you can reveal the title and then discuss it again, and you'll often find that that title adds new meaning. If you're unable to do a recce of the gallery first, you can give an example of how a title changes the meaning of an artwork in the classroom, and then send your students off on a hunt to find artworks where the title changes the meaning. It's a great game to play.
Here's a good example by artist Alfred Stevens. An elegant lady in a grand environment is clearly distressed. Her friend comforts her. Is the letter on the table a clue? When you learn the title is After the Ball, your imagination runs riot as to what happened to this poor lady at the ball. We all know Munch's The Scream. Every mark on the painting screams. Wouldn't we feel differently about it if it was called Bald Man Calls to Friend? I wonder if it would be as famous. This fantastical charcoal drawing of a woman in profile is by French artist Odilon Redon. The sitter is strangely muted by her balaclava-like head covering, which is covered in spikes. I'd love to know what my students would make of this. Their collective imagination is always greater than mine. Add the title of Armour and new interpretations can be found.
My third way to get students to really engage with artworks in galleries is called secret painting. This is great because it requires no preparation at all. All you need to do is to get your students into groups of 5 or 6, and then one student within that group chooses a painting from within a particular room in the gallery. And the other students, through questioning, have to guess which painting it is they have secretly chosen. You'll really notice that your students are really carefully looking at the paintings, really engaging with them, and having to use discussion with each other, which is great. You can add a competitive element if you wish, because obviously the fewer questions they need to ask to guess the painting, the better. Brilliant. So this is a great one for discussion skills and engagement. So I promised you 3.5 ways to engage your students in galleries. So what's my half? Well, maybe it should be a whole, because I think it's so important, because it's to pass on your love of going to galleries. I love going to art galleries. I love everything about it. I love looking at the artwork. I love going to the coffee shop. I love going into the shop to browse at all the gorgeous things. And you need to pass on this love. Obviously, you have to feel your way with your different classes. Schools are hugely different. If you feel comfortable with allowing them to go to the coffee shop, and if they can afford it, it's often expensive, try and let them go. Try and let them, give them the opportunity to go and look around the shop at all the gorgeous things. Talk to them about how much you love going to art galleries and how lucky we are that so many of them in this country are free. That would be a great way to pass on cultural capital.